You're listening to Tavern Sports Radio Network.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
Show me the money! Welcome to the 53rd episode of Show Me the Money, brought to you by Tavern Sports. We do have a decent crowd this week as compared to the last couple of weeks, only missing a couple of guys this week. No Clark, no Cole, no John, which probably not a whole lot of UFC this weekend happening would be my guess, Ty, or at least nothing too exciting. Is that correct?
There's a fight night going on, but the main event's like a minus 180 favorite, so nothing special. Gotcha.
So that's good news for us. We're just pretty much going to hop right into football. We're going to start out with the locks of the week from last week. I was the only one to hit last week. Reminder, fellas, this is a lock of the week. You're supposed to hit it. I'm the only one with a positive record in our lock at the moment. I'm sitting at 2-1. Everybody else is either 2-3, 1-4, or 1-3. Tyler, actually all the way down at 0-5, bud. Do you have anything you want to say to your fans out there?
What fans? Fade me. It's fade me season. It is officially fade me season.
I think it was fade me season last week, but you weren't on the pod to defend yourself.
Tyler's
now,
the new Cole.
Yeah, you don't have a way to defend yourself now. So
yeah, I'm cold as ice. Cold as ice. But hey, we're going to get it out of the way now. And when the big games start coming on and they matter, I'm going to be there, okay? I'm going to be there. Doing a lot of things behind the scenes to fix it. We're switching sports books. We're getting a different look at things, you know. Deposit boy. Definitely a deposit boy. But we're working on it. We're fixing it. We're doing it one way or another, so.
Well, at least I can appreciate you being honest with it. But let's get...
I'll go as far to say, Ethan, if I go over for the entire NFL season on locks, I'll shove a beefy 5-layer burrito up my ass.
Clip it.
Are you sure you don't want to eat a cup of dog shit?
Nope, I'm good.
Oh Jesus. Let's go into our, I don't even know how to jump into Heisman talk from here, but let's go into Heisman talk. Let's start with our favorite, Mr. Cam Ward. Josh, I know you are huge on Cam Ward this season. What do you see from him this last week?
I mean, it's not even just last week. I mean, Cam legitimately is just the best player in college football. Maybe Travis Hunter, if you wanted to make that argument, you probably could. The real question becomes, how much is this a quarterback award versus the actual best player award? We talked about that a little bit in the pre-show. Really, Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, and Travis Hunter are really the only three tickets I would hold currently. And Cam Ward's getting to the point to where it's really not worth it. Like, all it would take would be a rolled ankle and he's out for 3 weeks and you're kind of fucked. You should have got it 2 weeks ago when it was plus 900 is when you really should have got it. You've missed the train if you haven't gotten a Cam Ward ticket yet.
Yeah, I think something to be said though is if you like Bama, if you like Milroe, get your ticket now at plus 750, because if Milroe has a good game against Georgia this week, 750's gone. And you'll be lucky to see 450, I think. So definitely not a terrible ticket to have. I think about Cam Ward, it's now he gets into his conference schedule. Some better defenses in there that he's going to have to go through. So far, he hasn't really played anybody. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how he does. But he's just calm, cool, and collected. And I think as long as he stays healthy, should be in good standings come time to head to New York with this one.
What do you think about the possibility of a Travis Hunter ticket, Ty?
I mean, I can see you doing it, but you're a one-man show on a losing team that is 13.5-point dogs to UCF this week. So if you put Travis Hunter on a Bama, on a Georgia, on an Ohio State, and he was doing what he was doing, I think it would be there.
He'd be a
Now,
minus. He'd be the first minus candidate.
I think he would just. I think he's just all hype up in Colorado right now because, like,
he's the only reason they won last week.
Yes, and I don't know. Like, is he really good? Yes. Is he going to be a top 5 pick? Probably. But Heisman, I don't know. Heisman's a winner's award, and he's really not a winner. So
they're going into UCF, right?
Yeah.
That weather could fuck them up.
I think the actual forecast is supposed to be just cloudy. I think the rain's supposed to be out of there by midday on Saturday.
Yeah, the rain is even going to be up here, up in St. Louis where I am tomorrow. So this is a very, very quick moving storm.
Yeah, well, it's on you right now, Tyler. It's supposed to be here before midnight in North Bama, and it's supposed to set on us all day tomorrow.
Yeah. So I don't know. As far as other people go for Heisman, I'm not really looking at anybody but Dart, Milroe, potentially, depending on how this game goes. You're either going to find out if that ticket's live or dead after this week, I think. And I personally am not going to hold a Travis ticket. Parker, are you going anywhere on the Heismans?
I mean, like you guys said, if you didn't get on the Cam Ward hype train the other week, 2 weeks ago, you probably missed your shot. I just love the way he plays. I mean, at some moments, he makes it look like a walkthrough. I don't know if you guys saw the one fake handoff where he kind of just like slight sprinted to the left and like slowed his whole body down till he was like almost stopped like a side jog and just dumped it off to the side. Like just watching him progress through that, it was kind of cool to see. But
if he wasn't a 6-year player, they'd be talking about him first overall.
Yeah, he is.
I haven't watched a lot of Jackson Dart play yet, but good things always come from Ole Miss, so he's a good ticket. I agree with your statement on Jalen Milroe. Who does Tennessee play
this week? I don't know.
I mean, if you're looking for like a long shot, I think your last chance is maybe Nico. I think he could be a sneaky little ticket. He's been playing great for Tennessee right now, and they're looking really good. I know their schedule
this week.
I know their schedule is about to get a little rough, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, when they come, they're on bye this week, but next week they'll start SEC play.
Yeah, so I think if they come back and they get a big win, first game back, I think Nico would be a good ticket to get, and it could be sneaky. I mean, he's talked about now, but there's a lot of big names here that he's going to have to beat out, and Travis Hunter is one of those big names. Like you guys said, it's a winner's club. It's hard to do when you're a solo guy on that team, and it's basically you. He's got to have at least 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards a game, because if he doesn't have over 1,000 yards, he is not getting. If he doesn't have over close to almost 2,000 yards, it's going to be hard for him to get the Heisman.
He gets Arkansas in his SEC opener, so on the road. I mean, not a great team by any means, but their defense is all right. So
Arkansas is looking to be like a chippy team in the SEC. It's going to be, but they got a long ways to go. But that program's kind of turning around. It looks like to have a scrappy team here in the next couple of years.
What do you guys think? He's not on our list, but Caleb Johnson, the running back out of Iowa, almost obligatory that we talk about him, plus 7,500.
They struggled to give Reggie Bush a Heisman. I mean, it's not a running backs award, and
consistency though. If he gets to that 2,000 mark, potentially, but it's Iowa.
I just noticed Arch Manning is at plus 5,000.
Yeah, I don't know. Would it be great for him to get the award? But
yes,
it's not going 100%. To a running back. So, especially a running back out of Iowa, he would really have to do some crazy shit. If he runs for 300 next week against Ohio State for 4 touchdowns, then I could see some momentum. But Iowa doesn't have the hype. They don't want a Heisman coming out of Iowa. Iowa doesn't deserve a Heisman on the 120th ranked offense in the nation or whatever we are right
God,
now.
imagine that. Imagine that though. He just has
I think we
a
might
running
be higher than
season,
that.
and we just beat teams by like 7 points, but we just run the ball the whole time.
We're ranked
Well,
72nd in offense
Like
right now.
like think about it. Like
Eventually,
it'll be
his legs
stopped.
are going to
Yes.
give out. Like
Yeah.
he can't keep this workload up forever, which is good thing we have a stable of running backs there to help him. But I just don't see it, especially because he's a running back. But let's dive into actual games this week. We got Washington making the cross-country flight to Rutgers. Rutgers is 2.5-point favorites at home with a total of 44.5. Josh, you got anything here?
Who's favoring this game? Rutgers?
Has Washington played a Big Ten team yet?
No.
Welcome to the Big Ten, Washington.
No, I think they did last week. They did last week. The only newcomer that hasn't played in a Big Ten game is UCLA.
Oh, okay.
Who'd Washington play?
Not sure. I just remember hearing that on the broadcast.
Gotcha. This is a Friday Night Lights game too, huh? Interesting.
Sure it is.
I think short week, Friday game, long flight.
They played Northwestern, smacked him in the mouth.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna take Rutgers here. Don't like that I'm on the public side. Don't like that. I think Washington is still a good club with Belichick coaching them on the defensive side, but I would go ahead and still say Rutgers just because of the short week, long flight. These guys have been, you're doing your recovery on the road and everything. So I don't know how I feel about them. This can be interesting to see how these road trips work out for these West Coast Big Ten teams.
I'm on the side with Utah. I think it's a long travel. We saw what happened. I know you mentioned, they played the Big Ten team last week. It was Northwestern. It's barely a Big Ten team. Let's be honest. So this is going to be their real first Big Ten test. They're not the favorite. I don't see them taking this win. We all kind of thought USC was going to win last week up in Michigan. That didn't work out. It's a welcome to the Big Ten. You're going to lose this game. Give me Rutgers -2.5.
The only thing that scares me with Rutgers is they struggle to get off the field on third down. They allow a 46.2% conversion rate on third down, whereas Washington's only allowing 27.5% conversion rate. So I think that could really come back and bite Rutgers in the butt. Washington's converting almost 41.2% of their third downs. So that's the only thing that could really get Washington here, I think.
So
I don't
you
know.
picking a side?
Go ahead, Josh. You pick a
I
side.
was going to let you go ahead.
Oh, okay. I kind of think kind of where Ethan's tangent went with USC's welcome to the Big Ten. I think Rutgers might take a book out of that. They've been running the ball, it seems, pretty well so far. I think they might just stick to that, especially a team, like you guys said, traveling on the road, recovery. I think going into a Big Ten team, if they're used to the run and pound the rock kind of game, that physical, heavy, hard-hitting team. And I think if they keep that up, I think we could see a 1-score, 2-score, or a 10-point win out of Rutgers, potentially.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I looked at this game a lot today and looked a lot at Rutgers and a lot at Washington. I couldn't find a side. They're two really evenly matched squads. I'm gonna stay away.
Fair enough.
So 3 of us on Rutgers, Josh staying away. And to be fair, I think if you're still curious about where to put your money, it's not a bad idea. But I've seen how Rutgers has played Iowa in the past. I think they're going to play at least as tough as they play Iowa against Washington. So that's why I'm leaning that way.
I'll probably hem and haw over it later tonight and tomorrow. And I'll probably land on somewhere, but I just don't know where. So yeah, for now I'm on a stay away.
Let's move into our next one. Get a little SEC matchup here. We have Kentucky heading into Ole Miss. Ole Miss 15.5 point favorites at home with a total of 52.5. Josh, what do you like here?
Yeah, well, first off, this line's moved down 2 points in the last like 7 hours from when I made the rundown. When I made it today, it was at 17.5. And I liked Ole Miss at 17.5. I love them at 15.5. I mean, I understand Kentucky punched Georgia in the mouth, last week, 2 weeks ago? Something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think Ole Miss and Jackson Dart are a freight train that can't be stopped.
Yeah. I could agree with that. I mean, yeah, but I don't think Kentucky's no slouch. I mean, this quarterback, was good friends with Carson Beck. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, he might have was in that quarterback room a little bit at Georgia and he transferred out. I don't remember true story. Might need to fact check that, but I know he's definitely got a will to play. He's going to be fighting. He's going to be a dog. I know they're definitely not going to come in there and take him lightly. So could be a close game first, but I do think Ole Miss ends up running away with the game.
See, I like Kentucky because of what they did against Georgia. My only issue is Georgia is more of a pro style. We're gonna air it out, but we're also gonna rely on our run game and our defense. Whereas Ole Miss is a true spread offense, run and gun, and try to gash you with Jackson Dart. They are 4-0 ATS this year. Kentucky's 3-1 ATS. I'm going to be on the dog side here. I've been on favorites seems all year long, and it hasn't worked out for me. I think I'm going to rely on Kentucky's defense to try to keep them in this one. And I'm just pretty much fading the public here. So go ahead and give me the Wildcats and the points.
Not lockable.
I don't mind it.
A parlay piece I love is you can buy Ole Miss down to 13.5 and get it at minus 154.
So I'm the only Kentucky Wildcat here, or where are we going?
Yeah,
Sounds like it.
I would ride Old Miss as well. I haven't quite given my opinion yet, but I think I would ride Old Miss as well. I do think that the quarterback room is significantly stronger on the Old Miss side. Home game as well. Kentucky, they did come out and punch Alabama in the mouth, but we've seen it with teams like Kansas and Kansas State. Like, they can do that. Even Mizzou, they can do that up against a really, really big dog, and then they'll go out 2 weeks later and shit the bed just like they usually do. So I'm gonna ride with Old Miss. I think that they can. I think they can run away with it.
I mean,
I'm not-
betting. I was going to say betting history right now for the season anyway is in favor of you three. You're probably wanting to stay away from my side.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be playing totals this week, but it's worth mentioning both these teams are 1-3 to the over this year. Both under teams. I think that's mainly just because Ole Miss's totals have been so high all year, and they've been doing it mostly on their own.
Checks.
Let's
Checks.
move on to the next game that we got. I just mentioned them a second ago, but we got Kansas State as the home team. They're 4.5 point favorites against Oklahoma State, who looked pretty rough last week.
They both did.
Yeah, they're
I don't
both
understand.
off a loss.
I don't understand this Oklahoma State team. I mean, they're the literal exact same team. They brought back the receivers, all 5 linemen, quarterback, running back, and they can't run the fucking football. Like,
Yeah, it's criminal. I 100% agree with you. Like, where is Ollie Gordon at? Why are we?
Fun fact: they are 117th in the country in rushing, averaging 78.7 yards per game.
With one of the top backs in the country.
With the dude that coming into the season, I think some people were mocking him at the late end of the first round.
Yeah,
Didn't he go off in their first game too?
No,
he really hasn't done a whole lot.
I mean, define going off. I think he went over 100, but
Oh,
I
thought he had a
don't
couple
consider
touchdowns.
that going out. I don't. Maybe. But I don't know. When I think going off for like a college running back, you need to be elusive and go for like damn near 200 or more. Like anyone can pound in 3 touchdowns from the 2 yard line. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Josh, so you got a pick here on one of these sides?
Yeah, hang on, sorry. My notes app closed. Kansas State minus the 4.5 is where I'm at. Their defense is good, and Oklahoma State hasn't done anything all year. They have to do something eventually, you'd like to think. If Ollie Gordon finally shows up, cool. Maybe he takes a night off drinking and shows up sober for one.
Jesus.
I'm with you, Josh. I really like Kansas State minus 4.5 here, and because of that minus 4.5, I actually really enjoy the under on this game as well. I feel like 57.5, way too high for an OK State team that has not shown the offense has arrived, has not shown any sort of defensive ability to stop a run. Kansas State is really, really tasty in this pick for me.
They're 36th in rush defense, just so you know.
Is this Oklahoma State?
Oh no, sorry, I had a different. No, yeah, no, they're dog shit. You were right.
Okay.
I pulled up a different team. My bad. Hand up. Tyler, do you have a pick?
I'm staying away here, guys. I have a future on OK State, which is the reasoning why I'm staying away from this game, because I need to see it from them. And if they lose this game, they've lost to Utah. If they lose this one, you're 0-2 in the conference, with your 2 losses being to teams that are going to be at the top of the conference, playing in the conference championship more than likely. I hate to say it, but this is kind of the season for both of these teams, honestly, in this game, both coming off of conference losses. If you go 0-2 in the conference, I don't think you're clawing your way back. I don't think the Big 12 cannibalizes itself enough for you to be able to claw your way back into the conference championship game and to get into the playoffs, which is what I have a future on for OK State. So I'll stay away here and just hope for OK State.
Parker?
Honestly, Ty, that's not a bad pick to stay away. I'm kind of just really indecisive right now. Both teams have shit the bed for me, so I don't know. K-State did look good, then they look kind of crap. Their defense is still really good right now. Their offense hopefully will turn it around. If I had to put money on it, I'd probably put money towards K-State, but I'll probably just stay away.
Yeah, this just feels like a game to me that I'd lose money on whatever side I bet. So I'm just going to stay away from it. Another game that I feel like I'll lose money on whatever side I bet on is Louisville headed into Notre Dame. Notre Dame 6.5 point favorites here with a total of 46.5. I'm going to put it out there. I'm leaning Louisville. I'd be smart and buy the point to get it to 7.5. However, I need Notre Dame to win for a future. So probably going to be a stay away, but I like Louisville's side. The only thing with this is Riley Leonard, who looked really good throwing the ball at Duke, hasn't been throwing the ball a ton at Notre Dame, but he has been rushing a lot. So it's going to be whether Louisville can contain Riley Leonard or not.
Yeah, Tyler, to that point, I did a deep dive on this Louisville team today because I haven't looked into them at all. And as the armchair coach and scout that I was, I noticed that they are horrible against power run inside. That's something that Notre Dame traditionally does very well. They've struggled containing mobile quarterbacks this year. They struggled really bad against Georgia Tech whenever their guys started moving around a little bit. So that's good for Riley Leonard's rushing ability. And they are awful against any pass over the middle. It seems like their defensive philosophy is to clear out the middle. Now, if their cornerbacks can clamp up for like 3.5 seconds, they have a pretty good pass rush for those Cardinals, and their line can get home. I don't really know much about the Notre Dame line, but because I was able to identify those three factors just sitting at my desk today, I have pretty good confidence that the Notre Dame coaching staff can figure that out. So I like Notre Dame here personally.
Can't wait to hear Parker's comment of this team sucks.
I was just waiting for Ethan so we could get on and move on to the next fucking game
Yeah,
because
Parker's not gonna have an opinion.
I'll take the point. I'll buy Louisville because you guys make me want to say something on this subject every time. I'm gonna keep the hate away this year. Give me Louisville. Fuck Notre Dame. Continue.
I for this game, I honestly I don't watch a whole lot of Notre Dame football. It feels like every time that I could possibly bet on them, I tend to lose. So they're not like officially on a no bet list for me, but I just don't enjoy watching them. I think it's the lack of conference for me. I understand that's the draw to some people. I'm the complete opposite. If you're too big of a pansy to join a conference and show the muscle, then it's hard to enjoy watching it for myself. So um, one or the
Just
other.
look at it like everyone else. They're in the ACC. I mean, they play
Fair
an
enough.
ACC schedule
Yeah.
literally every year.
If I had to choose one or the other, I'd probably go Louisville to cover 6.5. I'd probably buy at a point to get to 7.5, but
I got the bet. If you can get to a sports book, just give me Urlacher's kid 3 tackles.
There you go.
Apparently he was all over the field last week. I seen some clips of him playing. I don't want Notre Dame to do good. I want him to do good because I would like to see another Urlacher in a Bears uniform. That would be fucking sweet.
God, that'd be sexy.
Yeah. Give me an Urlacher to the NFL. Can we? Is that an agreement
That's a
here?
foregone conclusion, man.
All right.
Here's a thought
That's
on
it.
it, and it's because you guys brought it up. Imagine if the NCAA stepped in and said to UMass, UConn, Notre Dame, and whatever other school is independent, and said, listen, you're going to play each conference on a rotating schedule. So one year they play Big Ten schedule. The next year they play a Pac-12, Pac-7 schedule.
I like that. That'd be cool.
Then they had to play the SEC. That would make Notre Dame join a conference real fucking fast, and they would 100% join the ACC or the Mountain West so they could just win. But because I think this team gets absolutely thumped by fucking an SEC or a Big Ten schedule. They fit better as a Big Ten team, the way they play, but I think if they had to go play an SEC schedule, their feelings would get hurt bad.
Yeah. Agreed. But I do like that idea. That idea is really cool.
So I just looked at the sports book. It doesn't look like you can bet individual defensive stat lines in college. They've just recently started letting us parlay them.
Yeah.
And in the pros, so
let's head into our next game. We're looking at Oklahoma heading into Auburn. Oklahoma, 2.5-point favorite heading in. This is going to be a rowdy fucking barn, fellas.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed I'm not going to this game. I had plans to that fell through. But Auburn last week starts Hank Brown Jr., whatever, and over Peyton Thorne. And they end up pulling him because Auburn and Arkansas had an interception battle. Nobody wanted the ball. Hank Brown just kept slinging the rock to Arkansas jerseys, and they ended up putting Peyton Thorne back in. And Peyton Thorne looked good-ish, I guess. I mean, he looked serviceable. Oklahoma, on the other hand, starts the season with Jackson Arnold, and they bench him for their backup true freshman this week. So this is a very big quarterbacks are all over the place kind of game. So I don't exactly know what's going to happen here, but I'll take Oklahoma minus the 2.5 just because fuck Auburn. And yeah, pretty much. That's why. So go ahead and give me Oklahoma. Auburn's ass, and Oklahoma played solid defense for the majority of the game against Tennessee. So that's why I'll be on Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma looked infinitely better once they put that freshman in last week. And Tyler, you said that they are for sure starting him.
Yes, he is the for sure starter.
Yeah, I mean, give me the kid. Give me Oklahoma minus the 2.5. You know, we found a freshman stud in Fafita last year and rode him for a lot of money. Maybe this is our guy this year. Who knows?
I mean, is it just me, or is like Oklahoma just fucking finding quarterbacks left and right? I mean, it
They've
just seems
always
like
done it.
it just seems like every year they just have some good ass fucking freshman on their bench just waiting to be in. It's like it's kind of crazy, and they come in and they perform really well. I mean, good on them. Yeah, I like Oklahoma. I think they got something cooking down there. I think this is another good step in that direction. Give me Oklahoma.
I mean, they lost Dylan Gabriel to Oregon, and they came out when Gabriel left and said like, "Oh, it's because Jackson Arnold's such a great talent. We don't need him." Well, it's week 4 and he's been benched for a true freshman. So, if they end up having a bad game with this kid, I mean, you're gonna have to give the rock back to Jackson Arnold, and I don't know how that fares for him mentally. So I think they need to stick with this guy for a while. It sucks I can't remember his name, but I don't know. I just don't trust Auburn's quarterback play at all. I don't think their defense is that good. So just go ahead and give me the overall better looking team, and that's why I'll stay with Oklahoma here.
Michael Hawkins.
Michael Hawkins. So I'll be rooting for him this week. Wish I was there watching it live, but you know.
I think I'm gonna lean the same way you guys are. I'm gonna take Oklahoma. They have looked damn good this year. I can't say I've actually watched any Auburn football, so I can't speak too much on them. But I have seen Oklahoma. There's a reason they're the favorite. I'm gonna stick with them. Oklahoma minus 2.5 is a good one for me.
You ain't missing much by not watching Auburn, I'll tell you that.
No, they get smacked in the mouth by Cal. It's crazy.
But watch out for Auburn next week when they play Georgia. For some reason, they'll be the best team in the nation.
Oh,
that's
always a top
like
matchup.
the Cubs. That's like the Cubs back in the mid 2000s. Whenever they played the Cardinals or the Yankees, it was their World Series.
Yeah, well, the Cardinals suck now, and we have a World Series more recently than you guys do. So
We have 4 this century.
Yeah,
4.
okay. Let's move to our next game because we're actually talking football. Arkansas, who I just said looked like absolute dog shit against Auburn last week, is heading into Texas A&M. Texas A&M 5.5-point favorites. Go ahead and give me Texas A&M just off of the eye test. I've seen both of these teams play. Texas A&M is the better ball club. I'll take the 5.5 and keep moving. Thank you very much.
Parker.
I haven't really watched much of these teams, so I can't really give a good pick. I've seen them both lose. I've seen them both win, or just off of scores and a few highlights, but nothing to really judge them on. I'm going to stay away. This total, though, I think it goes under.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate that. I don't think Arkansas is putting up a ton of points on Texas A&M's defense. I mean, they have a decent defense out there. So, yeah, I like that.
Is Texas A&M still slinging the rock like they were last year?
114th in passing offense.
So, no. So, yeah, I like the under.
I actually am, I think, the other way around from you.
Fuck you.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I had A&M. When they played Notre Dame, they pissed me off, and I don't think Notre Dame is as good of a team. We talked about it earlier. I don't think Notre Dame is as good of a team as everybody else thinks they are. So, I'm not a huge A&M guy. I was on them before that game. I thought the Money Manziel effect had definitely taken on, but I think Arkansas has been playing better football than A&M this year. I'm going to ride Arkansas, especially if you're going to give me 5.5. Could even think about taking it up to 6.5, maybe 7.5. But I'm comfortable with 5.5.
Yeah, I love Arkansas. I've been on Arkansas all year. Everyone knows that. I've said every week that I'm taking them. I've made good money on Arkansas so far this year, with the exception of the UAB game. You'll have that. I also gave you A&M not covering against Bowling Green last week, and not only did they not cover, they only beat Bowling Green by 6 fucking points. If you only beat Bowling Green by 6 points, you're not beating Arkansas by more than 5.
I'm just saying, you guys go ahead and put your faith in Taylor Green and his 151 yards and 2 interceptions last week. So, just saying that it ain't pretty. You guys are betting on an ugly, ugly team, but you never know. So
the only good aspect of this, or I shouldn't say the only good aspect, the best aspect of this Texas A&M team is their third down defense. They're getting teams off the field, only allowing 21% conversion rate. But Arkansas is the 5th best team in the country at converting their third downs. They're converting at a 54% conversion rate. You can't stop Mr. Green if you can't get him off the field. Just can't do it.
So we're split on that game. Let's take it into everybody on this podcast's least favorite team. Iowa State heading into Houston. Iowa State 15.5 point underdogs, or sorry, not underdogs, favorites. We had talked about it a couple of days ago. I know Clark isn't on the pod with us today, but ISU, meaning Iowa State, they are playing, number one, very good football. Number two, it opened up at 13.5 when Clark and I saw it. It's definitely gone up a bit, and I think for good reason. I really like Iowa State I can't believe I'm saying this. Iowa State's been making me money, so I'm going to stick with them. Give me Iowa State minus 15.5.
Yeah, I'm with you. Houston might be one of the worst teams in the country. Their defense is like okay, but they haven't played anybody. I mean, they've played Oklahoma and they kept that close. So like, good on you. But outside of that, like they just got skunked by Cincinnati last week on the road. And like you said, this state team's good, and I don't like it, but my money don't see allegiances. So
I'll take you guys here with Iowa State. However, 15.5 is just not a great number. So maybe look at teasing this down or buying it down if you just want to do it straight up. But I definitely am not going to lay an odd number like that. I just can't do it.
You can get 13.5 at minus 146.
That I would be more interested in. That's a number that I would like.
Yeah, I could care less about this game.
You hate those Iowa opponents,
I mean, yeah.
don't you?
Yeah. I don't like State, so I don't want them to win, so I don't want to put my money on it.
I would argue that you actively should want them to win. Like,
why?
Because they beat Iowa. So if Iowa wants any shot of getting into the playoffs, State needs to be amazing. If anything, we should be the biggest State supporters until Iowa loses another game.
Well, you'll find out about that one next week when we play Ohio State and get thumped 35-0.
Well, let's look at some more top teams. Speaking of Ohio State, we're not quite going to go to them, but we are going to go to Georgia at Bama. Bama, a 1.5 point underdog. This game is going to be electric.
Game of the week right here, boys. I personally feel like I might be against you guys here, but I'm going with Georgia. I don't know. Bama has been Georgia's boogeyman in the SEC championship, but in the regular season over the last few years, unless I'm completely wrong about this and misinformed, pretty sure Georgia's got Bama's number. I'm gonna take Georgia here. I like the defense. I like Kirby Smart. I love Kalen DeBoer. Don't get me wrong, but he's played in big games, but not this big of a game. Um, I'm just gonna take Georgia under the lights. I feel like they're gonna be able to handle it, and if Bama comes out and surprises me, then good on them. I'm not gonna be shocked. Either way who wins this game, I feel more comfortable putting my money with Georgia. That should make Alabama bettors feel really, really good.
Josh?
You go ahead, man.
Nah, it's all you. Take Ethan. Now what? You take it away, Big E.
I'll take it. Yeah, you're right, Ty. I am against you. Give me Bama. I actually really like Jalen Milroe. I had some question marks going into that Wisconsin game, and Josh was right about that game. Obviously, Wisconsin had a defense that was like a screen door. There was almost nothing there. However, his ability to put passes where they needed to be, it didn't matter what the defense was going to do because they couldn't have stopped many of the passes that he made. I think with him, he's going to prove that he is the guy for Alabama. I don't know if it's, and not that it has to yet, but I don't know if it has to play, if it's going to play in the NFL. It doesn't have to. It's playing right now. I I think he's going to be better than Georgia's ability to fight back. So give me Bama plus 1.5.
Parker, where you at, bud?
Both teams are good. Georgia's trying to build their new dynasty. Bama's been a dynasty. New kids on the block. Kirby Smart, Kalen DeBoer. Two great coaches. They faced each other, right? Washington when they were or did Washington play Texas? I can't remember.
Washington played Texas. Georgia was not a playoff last year.
I couldn't remember if they played each other or not.
No, Bama got in because it was Saban's last season, and the committee knew that.
Correct. Yeah, no. Give me the Tide here. I like Jalen Milroe, and I kind of like this wave that Bama's going on. Something's clicked with Milroe. I like the way he's playing and his attitude towards the game. I think this is a big step for him, and this is a big game that he can solidify himself as a Heisman Trophy candidate. So give me Bama plus 1.5, or just to win.
I have no clue where I'm at on this game.
That's fair.
I like it's going to be such a good game. Well, at least, I mean, we all hope it's going to be a great game. It should be a great game. Bama doesn't allow third down conversions. Georgia struggles to convert on third downs. Maybe that gives you a little bit of an insight to it. But I can also see Milroe just throwing up two absolute bombs that get picked by Georgia's disciplined secondary, because if you want to see what Milroe looks like in the NFL, just look at any Anthony Richardson tape. He's got no mid game, and it's just all deep shots on broken coverage. And Georgia doesn't get broken coverage very often. And give me Bama. I'm not super my conviction isn't super high on it, but I think Bama figures this one out.
Let's look into the last game that we've got here on the docket for college football, that is. We've got Illinois going into Penn State. Now, this seems like a pretty big line to me. The line is 17.5 in favor of Penn State. Am I the only one who thinks that that's a pretty large line?
No, you're not alone at all. Drew Aller can't cover big lines.
Yeah, I really
They also failed to cover against Bowling Green, by the way.
For myself, I really like Illinois in this one to cover. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be a pretty cover, but I think that they're going to cover. I do think that Penn State doesn't have the same offense that they used to, at least when I went to school at Iowa. And Illinois has proven to be a powerhouse both on the defensive side and the offensive side. So let's see what they can do.
This is a whiteout though.
Ooh.
In
It's
only
not. I
a-
just looked it up. It's not.
It's their only night game in Happy Valley this year. It's gotta be.
No, it's not. I just looked it up. It's Washington.
That's dumb, but okay.
They're only 11-8 in whiteout games anyway, guys. They're barely above 500 in those. Just saying. So that doesn't really matter to me. Illinois is ranked. I think they got a chip on their shoulder. I'm not a huge fan of Drew Aller. As much as it pains me to bet on Illinois in football, I think my money rests better on their side. Hopefully, Illinois just keeps it close, runs their motherfucker's face on offense, and is able to make something happen here. I'm just, I think keep it close, keep it chippy, time of possession, don't turn the ball over, and you should be able to cover this number against Penn State. Penn State is, like Ethan said, not the powerhouse that we are used to. So
it sounds like we're all on Illinois die slowly.
yeah, I don't think Illinois is winning this game, but die slowly.
So I was going to ask you.
I
you
think
kind of just
Illinois-
answered it.
I think Illinois keeps it really close. Honestly,
So what do you think about an Illinois money line? Just a sprinkle, not a full unit, but a little sprinkle. Plus 750 or 720.
that's a good
That-
line. That's a good
does
line.
sound like a Parker bet. That
if
does
you're
sound
a-
like a Parker bet.
If you're a diehard Illinois fan, I would bet that.
I'm not even a diehard Illinois fan. I might throw like $5 on it. Just
Exactly. I would slap 5 on it. I don't know. It's college football. I've seen crazy fucking shit. I mean-
Personally, I would be more confident if it was a home game for Illinois. To
Yes.
possibly win. I'm a little bit less confident with this game being at Penn State. So
I think it's more of a 10-point game.
yeah, that's fair. I would agree with that statement.
I think it's close and it just slides into a 10-point game to Penn State.
you can get Illinois plus 10.5 at plus 186. Won't put your money where your mouth is.
That'd be kind of hot.
You said that was it for college, so time for hidden gems.
Oh, man.
I'll go first. I've got a couple.
I got 3.
So here's what I'm thinking, boys. You have a very surprisingly good Washington State team going into Boise State playing on the Smurf turf. The Broncos are only 6.5-point favorites. I like them here. I want to see them just keep pounding the rock, beat Washington State here by a touchdown, get a good win under your belt. Boise State's live to be this group of 5 team. Like, I just really like what they're doing up there in Idaho. So give me Boise State minus 6.5. Probably my favorite line of the week. BYU, coming off of a very large win, is on the road at Baylor and is 3.5-point dogs. How they're 3.5-point dogs to Baylor, I have no idea. But go ahead and give me BYU plus the 3.5. Give me BYU on the money line. Wisconsin looked bad against Bama, and USC played good against Michigan. USC should have won that game against Michigan. So I like USC. They're 14.5-point favorites. I'll take that down to 13.5. Thank you very much. And then I know, guys, we've been drinking the Kool-Aid, but Gus Malzahn and the boys cannot do it like that to them. Give me Colorado plus 14.5 at UCF. I don't think that game is going to turn into a blowout strictly because Colorado has the athletes. Yes, UCF is a better coach team, but I don't think we see Colorado get blown out by UCF. I don't think UCF is there yet. They have KJ Jefferson at quarterback from Arkansas last year. I'm not super high on him, so go ahead and give me Colorado. My last one, I'm not touching it, but something you guys could look out for. UNLV, with all of their controversies and two players sitting out because they have not been paid their NIL money, are 1.5-point favorites at home to Fresno State. Could look at Fresno State here in a mass confusion week when UNLV is sleeping. So just something to be aware of there.
Nice.
Parker, do you have any hidden gems?
I got one that I like, and then I got one that I like, but I don't like the team, but the line's kind of nice, I think. My first one is James Madison minus 20.5 to Ball State. I think that's a lock. They just put up 70 points to a really good team, or not a really good team, a supposedly decent
UNC.
Yeah. I mean, UNC is a powerhouse ACC school, but I mean, they're on not a really good track this year. But I like this. I like this James Madison team. Give them. I like that bet. I don't know. Then my last one would be Nebraska minus 10.5 to Purdue. I know they're coming off a tough loss against Illinois. They did put up a lot of points. I do think they're looking for revenge. They do have something rolling down there. I don't hope they do good, but I don't think Purdue is that team to stop them. I think this is going to be Nebraska's get back game.
Ethan, you want to go next? You want me to go next?
Yeah, I really only have one. I'll keep it really quick. I'm probably only going to have one every week. I'm actually going to go right back to the same one that I had last week, and that was Clemson. This week they take on Stanford. Spread is 21.5. I really like Clemson yet again to cover that spread. I felt like they did that pretty easily last week, so I'm pretty confident against a worse Stanford team that they can do the same.
I like it. So yeah, actually I had 4. I forgot to write one down, but it was the BYU line that Tyler already gave out. One of my other ones was the Nebraska line that Parker gave out. I'm gonna buy the point to 9.5 just to be safe. I think you give up like 5 cents, so I'll do that. Miami has not failed to cover yet. I don't think it happens this week against, I literally was just looking at Virginia Tech, and it's moved 2 points in Miami's favor, so I like it even more, giving Miami minus 17.5 against the Hokies at home in Miami. And then back to the well with Bowling Green. They're a cover machine. They're finally like not playing a juggernaut program. They're going to be playing Old Dominion, probably one of the worst programs in the country. So give me Bowling Green minus 9.5 against Old Dominion.
I don't mind that bet.
I'm telling you, like, Old Dominion's probably my Air Force this year. Realistically, like, just some little dinky team that wins bets.
Yeah.
Nobody mentioned it, but I do want to ask, does anybody like SMU minus 6.5 over Fresno State?
I do.
Over Florida State, not Fresno State. I can't touch SMU because they've lost me a lot of money this year, but think it's an interesting line.
I'm not drinking the SMU Kool-Aid that everyone in the world is drinking this year. I haven't looked at a single one of their game films.
They looked good last week, but they have a couple losses that were just kind of like, really? You know, I don't know. I'm with Tyler on that one.
Ooh, I just see another one no one mentioned. Minnesota at Michigan. Michigan 9.5-point favorites at home.
Yeah, I saw that one.
That seems like a really low number.
Their offense to me is just too bad.
I agree.
Hey there, sports fans. Are you tired of the same old boring shirts? Well, we've got something exciting for you. Introducing the Tavern Sports Pocket Tee, where style meets passion for the game. Whether you're a diehard fan or just like the environment, Tavern Sports has got you covered, literally. The best part, because you're listening to Show Me the Money, you can use the code $$ to get 15% off today. So what are you waiting for? Head over to tavern-sports.square.site right now and elevate your game day experience. Tavern Sports. Beer, betting, sports.
Let's get into NFL, guys. Cincy heading into Carolina. The Red Rifles are 4.5-point dogs at home. Cincy 0-3. The Panthers have a win. They have a quarterback with experience. Who's going where?
You know,
Parker?
I don't want it to happen, but I could see it happening. The way the NFL shaken out the past few years and just how games go. I mean, Cincy's looked like crap this year, and I think if they really want to keep people liking them and on their side, they got to come out here and destroy the Panthers. But I don't know if they can do that the way they've been playing. Um, their offense though last week looked like they were trying to scrap against the Redskins or the Commanders, the football team.
Whoa!
Pause,
sorry.
bro.
Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry. Sue me. Commanders. Anyways,
For that,
give me the
Cincinnati-
Panthers to cover.
for that Cincinnati Panthers game. I want Joe Burrow and the Bengals to be good, and they have not been. Meanwhile, the Commanders looked, or sorry, not the Commanders, the Panthers looked very good, especially with Andy Dalton as the quarterback compared to what they usually look like. So I am starting to lean a little bit more toward the Panthers. I would prefer them at plus 4.5.
I'm not putting it with the Panthers. Their top two wide receivers are out this week. But Cincy hasn't shown it. I mean, Cincy's looked so fucking bad. Their defense looks dead. Like, just actually dead. Like, DeMar Hamlin levels of dead. Gun to my head, give me Cincy, but I'm not touching it.
Cincy money line. Thank you very much. All right. Saints in Falcons in Atlanta. Falcons 1.5-point favorites here. Definitely don't think the Falcons should be favorites. Unfortunately, the Saints did lose last week, and their offense was non-existent. That did lead to people in New Orleans dying. So Saints do better. If you guys didn't notice that the murder rate had stopped in New Orleans while the Saints were on a winning streak, and then I think it was 40 minutes after they lost, somebody was reported dead, murdered. So I'm going to go on the
lives are literally on the line.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints strictly, but to keep the city alive. And it's in a dome, so the weather's not going to factor. Falcons defense is good, but I don't think it's Eagles good. I think Derek Carr and the boys get it back going unless Kamara sits out.
Kamara's out.
He's out for sure out.
According to today's report, he's out.
Fuck. All right, well then give me the Falcons money line.
I think we get Scuba Steve Kirko chains this week, and I think he brings his snorkel and his goggles to the field, and I think he just puts on a little swim lesson over there to the Saints. I don't know. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it could be a high-scoring game. I don't know what the over-under is.
The total is 42.5.
Could be interesting. It's kind of tasty. These teams have a potential to have big explosive offenses. They have young defenses that are starting to kind of find themselves. So we'll see here. I do like a Rashid Shaheed touchdown, though. I do like that out of the Saints. But give me the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm on Falcons here. Saints came back down to earth like they should have. So, yeah. Falcons, Ethan?
Yeah, if I had to lean one way or the other, this is one of those few games that I kind of like the home team more than the away team, purely just for that reason. I think that both of these teams are pretty similar. I would probably lean Falcons money line, only because the line is so close. Would I say I'm okay with taking it with the spread?
What's next? Minnesota at Green Bay. Green Bay laying 3 points. Is Jordan Love back?
No, not yet.
I don't know, but let Malik Willis keep running the helm up there if he's going to win them games like that.
I actually don't know. There's reports that he might play. My thing is like let him get to 100%. I get
It's early.
this is a big divisional game. But like Malik Willis hasn't looked that bad managing the offense. I think why both these teams are doing so well this year is they have good coordinators that scheme it up really, really well for their quarterbacks. I like the Packers here. I think the Vikings have to come back down to earth at some point. And this is a familiar face for the Packers defensive coordinators. They've seen Kevin O'Connell and the boys plenty of times and always seem to handle business. Give me the Packers, and I don't even know what the number is, but give me the under because
43.5.
it's really low, but I think this is a chippy divisional game early in the season.
Yeah, so Blue Book doesn't even have a line for Malik Willis's passing numbers, only Jordan Love. So I would assume Jordan is going. I don't know. I'm so bad at picking NFL, does it really matter? Gun to my head. I think the fighting Sam Darnold's get it. Give me Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't like the Packers, so let's see Minnesota get another Cinderella win early in the season. I'm with Tyler. I think the Packers should wait and let Jordan Love heal. If I'm not mistaken, the Packers will face the Vikings again. Rather have him see him the second time when it's going to probably affect more of a bracket or play towards the off season or
Playoff implications.
playoff. There you go. Thank you.
You almost got there.
Yeah, I was trying to get there. I could see it. I could see the bracket, but the words weren't coming. The playoffs. So, I think that would be a smart move on their end to keep Malik Willis cooking. But then you run into a chance of him performing well. But then again, there's a chance for a trade later potentially. But give me the Vikings. This is going to be a challenge for Sam Darnold. This Packers defense is no slack.
I would actually lean toward the Vikings myself. I think if I think this game is going to be a Sam Darnold prove it game to me, honestly. I still don't know if I believe in the guy. Granted, I don't watch a whole lot of NFL. I have watched him play enough now at this point though that the dude looks like the real deal. So I'm gonna ride the Vikings while they're hot, even without Hawkinson. I think that's a team that's gonna be strong, only gonna get stronger at this point.
Alrighty. The next game we got the Steelers at the Colts. Ethan, what do you feel about this game?
Justin Fields is gonna tear shit up, I bet. I really like the Steelers at -1.5. I understand that the Colts kind of beat the Bears last week. So they're coming off a win. I don't know. The Steelers look damn good both on offense and defense right now, specifically on the defensive side, which is always a Steeler thing. But I really like them. I would feel confident with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think the Steelers take this one. I think the Steelers take this one probably by a touchdown. I don't think Anthony Richardson's gonna is gonna have time to throw a ball deep. I think TJ Watt's going to be in the backfield too often, and he's not going to be able to set his feet to throw a ball that far. If they can do a good job at containing him and they can get downhill, he's a big boy, so you're going to need a lot of bodies. But I do think Justin Fields is cooking a little bit down there on their offensive side. So give me the Steelers.
I'm also going to go with the Steelers here for strictly because of their defense, and I am a Anthony Richardson hater officially. He threw 2 picks to the Bears. He doesn't hold the ball well. They rely on the deep shots. I don't think he's going to have time with the Steelers' defensive line. So yeah, I just think that they're going to be able to manage this game. Going to be a lot of Steelers fans in attendance. Give me the Steelers here.
Tyler, you stole basically every word out of my mouth. It's a Pittsburgh home game away from home. Their D line's just too good. I also think Anthony Richardson's dog shit. JF2's been cooking. Let him keep cooking. Give me Steelers -1.5.
All right, so all on the Steelers here. Let's move to the Rams heading into Chicago to face our Bears. Bears 3-point favorites. Man, I get why we're favorites because literally everybody on the Rams is hurt. However, they just beat San Francisco, and San Francisco is a much, much better ball club than what we have. So I'm going to go with the Rams plus the 3 here because I don't think we're managing Caleb Williams well. I don't think we're calling plays to his strong suit. Yes, I know he just threw for 350, 360, but he had 2 interceptions. Yeah, he had 2 interceptions, and I just think against Sean McVay, you're not going to be able to do that. He's going to run the ball. He's going to control the clock, and I think the Rams cover this one. If the Bears win, it would be a close one. I don't think we have the potential to blow out anybody at this moment. So go ahead and give me the Rams plus 3 until the Bears prove me wrong. Our O-line has to be able to fucking stand upright.
Yeah, you know there's a problem with your offense when there is a meeting at 6:30 a.m. on a Monday between your head coach and your offensive coordinator, and your head coach looks dead at your offensive coordinator and says, you got to do better. And not only does that meeting happen, but it gets out of the private meeting and into the media. So that's a problem. Darnell Wright is trending towards not playing this week, which means we may see the debut of I think he was our 3rd round pick, Kareem Amagaji, out of Yale. I think Yale.
Not a big trenches guy. You're on your own.
Yeah.
There.
But yeah, the line looked a little bit better last week, so I mean that's good. They did have really, really, really bad moments, but as a unit, they did look a little better. We still can't run the fucking ball. I don't think that changes. And until that changes, I don't know what to tell you. It sounds like Keenan Allen's back, so that's a plus. And we're finally using Cole Kmet correctly. But if we're going to have somebody off tackle block a defensive end, maybe instead of like 5'9" Carter, maybe, I don't know, we use like Martellus Bennett, the guy that we fucking signed to do it. Just an idea.
I think we need to come out and T-bone formation out of the shotgun, though, and then they just block so Caleb Williams can have a deep shot to like roam or something. I think that's the offense we need to run. Honestly,
Caleb's defense looked rough.
I mean, this man they had a run play last week, and there was 4 offensive linemen on the ground.
I mean, again, that comes back to play calling. You're calling a pitch sweep on 4th and 1 at the goal line.
It doesn't. No, it's not. Josh,
yeah, it is. That's fucking play calling.
There's professional athletes laying on the ground because they missed their fucking block. That's the problem. That is the problem. It doesn't matter about the play call. Play call comes second. The first job is them making a play. Them doing what they're getting paid hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to do is block. And they're all laying down because they missed their block. That's the problem. And I think hopefully there's some changes to that.
Block. There's missing your block and losing your block. They all engaged and then lost their block. They did not miss their blocks. The
I
line's
think-
awful, but don't just trash them.
It doesn't matter. They were all laying on the ground blocking turf.
You're not wrong. But it's also
I'm
the play call. That ball shouldn't have gone outside on 4th and 1.
Yeah, no, I think it's a mixture of both because you also earlier in that same downage, you had the same play called what 3 times straight? Did it work any of the 3 times straight? It didn't. So why would you go back to something similar? You have to find a way to advance. You have to change it up. At that point, they had been reading the defense or the offensive line. The defense had been. So like there was no change. The defense knew exactly what was going to happen. You have to be able to adapt to it. The defense adapted. The Bears just threw the same shit out there and didn't do anything to fix the issue.
Fire Waldron.
So I'm on the Rams. Josh
I'm
sounded
on the
like you were on
Rams.
the Rams.
Yeah, I'm on
Parker?
the Rams.
I'm not gonna bet, but I'm with you guys. The Bears got to prove to me that they can win a football game, and they have not yet. But this could be their chance too.
Ethan?
I'm the same way. I don't want to lean either side right now because I want to see the Bears win. I'm concerned about it. I definitely don't like -3. I would feel more comfortable betting on the Rams at +3 than I would the Bears -3.
There you go. All right. Next one, we have the Eagles coming off of a hard-fought game against the Saints, traveling into Tampa, who got absolutely laughed out of the building against Denver last week. Tampa's 1.5-point dogs at home. I like Tampa in the bounce-back spot. I think there's something to say that after you get embarrassed like that, you need to come back and fight. So I'll take Tampa here just to keep it short.
I'm interested to see the field conditions. I understand the storm goes through tomorrow. They'll have 2 days to dry out. But I think this game could end up as a ground and pound, and Saquon's been feasting ever since he got to Philly. So give me the Eagles -1.5.
I would agree. I think field conditions are going to play a massive part in this. Tampa does not run the ball at all like the Eagles can. If this truly is the ball's not going to work in the air type of game, then Eagles are going to run away with this.
That is hard to argue. I didn't figure that in at all, the field conditions, but that would make a hell of a lot of sense. If it does come down to a rushing game like that, Saquon will feast, and hopefully his ACLs will survive.
And I'll say this, if it is looking like it's going to be a rushing game, take Bucky Irving's over, not
Rashad White.
Yeah, not White's. Take Bucky's. Bucky's gonna take over that backfield.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I like the Eagles here. I think Saquon will have another good game. Anytime touchdown scorer, most likely. So
It's free.
yeah, give it to me.
All right. So actually, I'm going to flip my pick officially, and I'll go with you guys and the Eagles here. I don't want to be alone on an island much this week with how everything's been going. So next we have the Commanders headed into the Cardinals. Cardinals 3.5-point favorites. Kami's coming off of a big win. I think they looked good. I actually think the Cardinals have been sneaky decent this year, but 2 teams here that I don't really know. So I will just stay away and be happy on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away. I was hoping Clark would be here to talk us one way or the other on this. You said it, Ty. Washington looked great last week. There's no denying that. Their play calling looked simple to put words to it. I don't think it was a very impressive play that they were calling. I think Cincy's defense is just that bad.
Was it supposed to be impressive? They won the game, didn't they? That's kind of argue. I mean, that's kind of how I think.
What I'm saying is, like,
I get it. I see
like
what you mean.
They ran like a junior high level offense.
I mean, it worked. I
It
mean,
did work. I'm not.
I don't know.
I don't have
That's what I'm
anything
saying.
against them. I'm just
Why do a lot of teams complicate things when they don't need to be? I mean, sometimes you
no.
just gotta.
It worked. Like, but I'm saying I think a half decent defensive coordinator can easily stop it.
True.
I mean, I think Jaden Daniels brings an aspect to that offense that is crazy because whereas normal junior high offense, okay, fucking fake the handoff, roll out, chuck something up. I mean, you got to be worried about Jaden's legs. Like, that's a real factor. But it's the pros. If you can't take a simple junior high offensive concept, add a quarterback running to it, and have a defense stand up to it, you probably shouldn't be coaching at Cincinnati.
Yeah, this one's a tough one for me because the Cardinals are finally playing good football, which is not something that we have seen in quite some time at this point. The Commanders also looked very, very impressive, specifically Mr. Jaden Daniels. Um, it's hard for me wanting to lean either way. I think this is another one of those games where just because they're the home team, I think that's who I would ride with. I'd go with the Arizona Cardinals for that one.
That's the side I'm leaning, but I will stay away. Bills at Ravens. Ravens 2.5 point favorites. Bills are hot right now, and I think they have a good team chemistry going. They got the charisma, they got the swagger. On the other side, Mark Andrews hasn't shown up at all. Derrick Henry's looked good, but give me the Bills here just off of a vibe. Like they've been playing real well. Allen has come out and said, it's nice to have a team where nobody's caring about the stats and you're free to do whatever you want. So I'm going to go ahead with the Bills here on just a vibe play. Give me them plus the 2.5. Be smart, buy it up to 3.5. But if that comes down to 1.5, just give me the Bills on the money line. So
I'm with you, Tyler. Same reason. I'm not betting against Josh Allen right now. He looks like the best player in the league currently.
I agree. I really thought that this was a team that was going to struggle after the offseason that they had. Lost a lot of talent both on offense and defense, and they look like they've improved in terms of those losses. So maybe it was addition by subtraction. Maybe that's what the point of it was, or maybe they're just getting lucky. Or maybe they knew what they had coming up instead. So I right now Josh Allen is the MVP pick for me as well. I would ride with the Bills plus 2.5 right now.
Parker?
Yeah, I think the Bills are playing really good right now as well. The Ravens, they're hit or miss right now. I'm with you. I think Mark Andrews is on a milk carton to answer your question from earlier. I think Derrick Henry hasn't been as big of a factor as I think they need to work him in. I think the Bills are on the right track. It's going to be a close game, I think, but I think it's going to be a decent scoring game. Give me the Bills, though. I think the Bills win.
All righty. Our last one for this week is the Seahawks heading into the Lions. Lions 3.5 point favorites. Though the Lions have kind of regressed, which I thought they would this year, we talked about that when we went over the schedules and futures. I still think the Lions win this game here. The Seahawks, yes, they had a big game against the Dolphins, but the Dolphins are without everybody. So mainly Tua. They didn't have anybody to steer that ship down there. So give me the Lions here. I'll take them at 2.5. Probably going to be a good money line parlay piece. And if I do that, they'll inevitably lose. But that is the way things have been going right now. So a lot of dogs barking in the NFL, but I do think that we have a chance here. So give me the Lions.
I also really enjoy the Lions. I would as well stick with them. Geno Smith doesn't impress me. I gotta stick with the Lions on that one. Give me Jared Goff.
Yeah, I think Lions coming off of or they came back and won, didn't they?
Last week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think they're on a momentum swing. Then that's kind of a big win for them because they came back to beat the Niners, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
The
the
Rams-
Or not the,
Oh, the
not
Rams.
the Niners.
They
Sorry.
played the Rams.
Sorry.
The Rams beat the Niners last week.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Wrong team. Oof. Yeah, I don't think Geno's the guy right now. The Seahawks look. I mean, they're playing all right, but this Lions team's pretty good. So give me the Lions.
Yeah, Gino was goated 2 years ago. He regressed last year. His regression again this year was very evident. I mean, if you didn't see it coming, you're probably pretty fucking stupid, to be completely honest with you. Lions on spread. Pretty easy pick, in my opinion.
This episode of Show Me the Money is brought to you by Tavern Sports, your place to get fun sports content, sportsbook lines and parlays, and of course food reviews with Big E's Ballpark Bites. You can follow Tavern Sports on Instagram at Tavern Sports 2023, TikTok at Tavern.Sports, and Twitter at Tavern Sports 23.
Let's get into our lock of the weeks, and let's go and start with our leader in the clubhouse. Ethan, where are you going this week?
Oh, this one's been a tough one for me. I think with my lock of the week, I was pretty confident in this one earlier when we were talking college football. I gotta go with Iowa State this week. They've just been way too impressive to pass up. It's unfortunate that I have to go there to win money, but if that's where the money's going to be, they'll take it.
Alrighty, Josh, where are you headed this week?
Do we want to give out the three guys that aren't here? That's usually where we start this.
Sure, we can do that. Cole is taking Bama and Georgia over 49.5. Clark is taking Boise State minus 3.5. That's an alt line. Have we checked that?
Good.
All right.
That's good. Well, maybe what you said it was up to 6.5. Maybe it's not. Hang on, let me do a quick check.
Well, while Josh checks that, we can get to John's. John is taking the Cardinals and the Commanders to go over 50.5. I like that one. Hopefully, we see some young players explode there. Parker, where are you headed?
I'm taking JMU minus 20.5 over Ball State.
Chirp, chirp. He's going against the MAC conference there. Josh, you have an update on Clark's line for us?
Yeah, Clark's line's good, minus 142.
All righty. Josh, where are you headed?
I'm really just trying to decide who I want to fuck. Because whoever I pick is not going to win.
Pause.
Who's Kansas State got again?
They have Oklahoma State.
Sure, give me Kansas State minus 4.5. That way I know which one not to bet. I'll bet the rest of them in a parlay and win, and it'll be fine.
All right, now I will take BYU plus the 3.5 on the road at Baylor. And though it is fade me season, I think this one is a really confident pick. And from this point on, if I do lose this one, I will just be taking the opposite side of Parker's picks to ensure that they win, and trying to avoid that beefy 5-layer burrito up my ass. Here we go. We're going for our Tyler's teaser. And yes, I know we have not got a win yet. So what are we going to do? We're going to make it bigger. We're going to get more points involved, and we're getting this shit back in blood. 9 legs, 8.5 points, plus 1,200. Oklahoma State up to 13 against Kansas State. Keep it close, boys. Give me BYU and the Super Soakers plus 12 against Baylor. If you're going to lose, don't lose big. Josh, I think you'll like this one here. Ole Miss minus the 7 against Kentucky. Louisville, Parker, for you, give me them plus 15 against Notre Dame. I'm going to take USC at home against Wisconsin down to minus 6. Colorado plus 23. If they lose, I don't think they lose that bad. Clemson at home minus 13 against Stanford. Boise State, I'm crossing 0 here, and I'm getting them to plus 2. at home against Washington State. And I'm going to take Utah against Arizona to +1 from 7.5. That's a plus 1,200 bomb. Get us well into the profit on these teasers for the year. So let's go big or go home with this shit. All right. We've given you the picks. It is time for everybody else to show me the money.
Go big